Telling them this like self-defeating story over and over again, and projecting it onto their future and calling it their present and expecting different results.
Right. And getting frustrated the
And
same way.
getting frustrated why it's not changing.
And then repeat it maybe to you, if you allow it too many times, the same story. And it's like, do you realize you're saying it's just a different situation? You're saying the same thing.
Yes.
It's almost like people are disembodied. They're operating in, visually it looks like they're one, but they're operating as if they're separate, siloed individuals. And so they don't even know that they're doing that. And to get people to recognize until you can really have that free flow, and really when I say brain, body, and beliefs, I'm saying the spirit, because you really have the opportunity when you're fully connected to tap into what it is that is speaking to you. We deaden those voices because we are trying to either satisfy someone else or do what they think you should do, or
You know what I call it, Lisa? I call it the shoulda, woulda, oughta people.
yeah. Why do I missed quite a few of it. I should. You know what I ought to do.
Right, exactly.
I
So
don't know why, or you meet them 5 years later and they
right.
say the same thing.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, do you know you said the same thing to me
5 years ago.
Are you doing it? No, but I should. I
Hmm.
will. I'm gonna
Right,
try.
right,
I will try.
right. What I find is, Coach, is oftentimes people are telling them this like self-defeating story over and over again, and projecting it onto their future and calling it their present and expecting different results.
Right. And getting frustrated the
And
same way.
getting frustrated why it's not changing.
And then repeat it maybe to you, if you allow it too many times, the same story. And it's like, do you realize you're saying it's just a different situation? You're saying the same thing. And
Yes.
saying the same thing. It's like you're in your own little cocoon, and you're just going in circles. You're not really progressing.
What is the biggest challenge that you have with helping people overcome them on their own selves?
I think the biggest challenge is having people address what I say is the earth-shattering first question you really have to do. And it's not going to be one that you can answer in 5 seconds, and that's okay, is that question of who are you?
Mm.
I always will start, and then I can show you how you can break it down to, because some people are just like, I'm overwhelmed. I don't know who I am. But I always love to say, if there are something, just one thing, that if you didn't have your family, you didn't have friends, you didn't have this and that, what would be left? What is that thing that's about you that no one can take away? A situation, jobs, nothing can take it away. And that question to me is the one that will ground you and will get you away from what I think some people start with their question is, what's my purpose? But like, who are you? Because if you don't know who you are, then your purpose has not been revealed fully to you. Until you're in touch with that, then this elusive purpose thing that you're seeking is going to be elusive to you. And then now your frustration of, I tried this and I did that. You're trying everything but the real hard questions.
Mm.
I think
they are quite intimidating for a lot of people, aren't they?
Yeah, because and rightfully so, right? Because if the enemy gets everyone to understand that, then the enemy has no power. People can now claim this, which is themselves. And when I come in, a lot of my address is going to be on some fundamentals of love and freedom. And I can do it like anybody's business on science. I can do the science of it. But at the end of the day, these are core health principles. You don't have love straight, I'm going to guarantee you something's going wrong in your life. But if we could get to the source, and then I could give you exercises that gets love straight, both love of self and love of others, then, okay, yeah, those other things, they seem daunting, like, oh, my weight or whatever. Those really aren't that daunting.
You can't get love right if you're understanding it wrong.
Exactly. Then you're living it wrong. Now look at the disconnection you are. you're disconnected with everything. You're disconnected with the earth, the salt of the earth, the other people, community. You're disconnected with yourself. So now you don't even understand what what I'm supposed to be doing, or you're so disconnected, so disharmonied. And now it reflects itself in your health.
All the time, doesn't it? And most people wonder, I'm about to say we, because we don't wake up with this epiphany like early in our early years. Something has to happen to us.
Exactly. That
right? Like, hey, I am here.
You better be watching.
That's if you're willing to be open to the possibility of, like, what am I not understanding right now, and why am I getting this wrong? Because our bodies, as you would share with people, is meant to heal itself.
Yeah.
But it can't, because of all the white noise that we are falling prey to because of what culture and society has indoctrinated us with.
Someone will say, here's my problem, but then they'll say the reasons why they don't want to change their problem. They don't say it like that, but the way that they're talking about the problem is they don't want to change it. And they say things that are reinforcing them that are not serving them well. And so you say to them, okay, but do you really want to change? Like I got to a point with really actually especially with anyone I'm going to work on one-on-one, like they have to be ready. I'm telling you, you got to be ready.
It's hard to pull people. It's hard to pull people.
I need you to be honest with yourself.
Like, you can drain. I can't pull you, baby. I can't. I can't.
I used to try. That's the problem with you. And I realized I can't believe enough for someone else that does not want to believe in themselves.
Right.
I was tired, and that's what happened to me in the front end of when I just was doing a lot of training and everything was really one-on-ones, and I was like drained a bit when I couldn't get someone just to see that it could be easy, it could be better for them. Are what we do, it's a precious gift we've been given. I don't ever want to forsake it. I have to nurture that. Like I have to nurture that. I have to make sure I'm in the spaces I need to be.
Yes.
Sharing it in the ways that I need to share it.
I'm so glad that you were open to having the conversation, and it's perfect for P3 Purposepreneur TV. As purposepreneurs, we are pattern makers, and pattern makers are move makers. And so we're like cutting out our own patterns to help other people move forward. We are what we do, right? You can't do anything that you're not.
Or when you meet people that are, because occasionally some people are awesome. Now there's a disconnection. Like, it's not for you. You're just saying things that you read in the book. It's not really coming out of
right.
You can learn, but it has to be from you, and it's an authentic message in this wonderful gift that's been given you to give so much to so many people that it only takes one word from somebody to change a generation.
And when you started talking about the vagus nerve, I'm like, she got my attention.
Because what the other thing that just drives me batty is that people get stuck and think that the body can't heal itself. They don't even want to start with what the body is capable of. There's such a complexity that's happening in our bodies. And for the neurology side, they really were into the sleep side. And I added the breathing side because I met another breathing specialist and started doing a lot of work on that area. But then really getting into just the heart of the gut and the heart of the two brains and this vagus nerve that a lot of people don't even talk about, but apparently, it's talking to you.
And when you talk about second brain, I'm so sure you're aware that so many people don't even know that we do have a second brain.
Nope. They don't know. They squash their heads and they're like, what? Yeah. So when you're throwing things in your body, and they'll throw around terms like someone said to me, oh yeah, well, I got this leaky gut. I'm like, do you know what a leaky gut is? Like, you're saying it like it's, I got a scratch, I got a mosquito.
Like that's normal.
Your body's screaming at you saying, oh my God.
Like, allow me to heal myself. Like, take better care of me. We have really laid back and become so dependent on taking a pill.
Yeah.
Taking a pill for this and taking a pill for that. Like, give me a break.
You will argue with me.
Yes.
About now, here you are, your body's like screaming at you, right? And you don't feel well, and you're saying you don't feel well. So you're articulating your body is not feeling well. But I say, okay, well, you know what? We're going to make some adjustments because your body's saying, please. I always say, let's incrementally, take out So if I say take out a certain thing, and this is the one thing that you're like, well, no, but I have to have this most unhealthy thing that is making me sick. And I must, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is your health to you? And how important is feeling better? And how important is healing your body? Like it has to be important enough for you to make a change. You would rather do that and maybe take a pill that's not going to heal that. It must, at most, it'll mask it, because you're still going to have the problem. It might mask it so you don't feel the pain, but you're going to have the problem and it's going to progress. So how do we shift? Like small little things, it's tiny. I always say, like, I speak the language of the person that wants to hear that it's not going to be hard. So it's so easy. It's so tiny. It's just tiny little change you're making.
How hard have you found it to be able to pull people to the realization that water is a vital part of their
I don't
processing journey? Like,
I don't like water. You know, you're walking around dehydrated, your cells are shriveling up, they're just trying to, it's like a desert in your body. It's just trying to squeeze water from anything it can. That'll be the first thing someone tell me, well, I just don't drink water. Well, I don't like water. I'm like, well, so, but you're telling me you have these bowel issues, and you're telling me you have these other things and your digestion issues. And do you know that the body is screaming for breath, water, good food? You know, it's just asking you the bare minimum. Can you just give me the things I need to survive? It's really what it's asking for. But I love anything that's creative like that, that kind of, how can you communicate in a way that is gonna get past the, oh no, honey, I'm not doing that. You know, the initial, that's too hard.
that barrier.
I'm too old for that. Or, oh
my goodness.
Oh, I've been eating this way my whole life. Oh, my mother, my grandmother ate this way and they lived till, I've heard every single thing. I said, could be true, but you're sick. Food sources were different. And then we can even talk about that. Food sources were different back in the day.
So different. So like it was more natural back then. We have so much more in our food chain right now, like that's in the animal before it's even processed.
Exactly. You even have to ask the before questions, and the things that they're adding and the things they're putting in the soil. So, and the things people's go-to of fast food or even fast vegan food. I'm sorry, I'm about ready to do a podcast. I mean, a little thing about that, because Impossible Burgers and things like that. So I have been in the wellness, like having Embrace Your Fitness is my company for 16 years. I myself transformed my body. I lost 77 pounds and I did it without dieting. And so I had this really zest for simplifying process and demystifying the fake stuff that's out there.
Who are your sheep?
So my, the passionate sheep are really women 35 and above. I really go after women come to me, super stressed, kind of burnt out over this concept of multitasking in their own lives. And so a lot of my people come that are sleep deprived, big thing for them, definitely not breathing correctly, and really wanting change. Whether someone is, you know, their chief thing, they come in because everyone always has that chief thing. I want to be 100 pounds less. All right. Or I just want to know my purpose. Or they'll have one thing, but the road to that one thing requires you to do a little inward work. And I really thrived in using group dynamics to foster change. And then I do retreats. So been putting really a beautiful retreat in Dominican Republic. I have one coming up in Tulum, Mexico.
Okay, great conversation. So